And welcome back, friends. Today we are going to cover Ask Reddit. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what Ask Reddit is a subreddit on the social media website Reddit, where users can ask random questions and engage in discussions with other members. I'm going to cover a couple questions today and see what kind of feedback we get from the community. So without further ado, let's get started. First question. What's a secret that would change how the people around you look at you if they knew? And let's see what kind of answers we got. Allegedly stupid. All of my friends and family are Jehovah's Witnesses. They think I am, but I plan to leave. 85% of them will shun me when I leave. No Assumption 5948 chimes in. I was shunned by 100% of the people when I left the cult, not Jehovah's Witness. My entire life as I knew it was over and I was completely alone. It's been 20 years since I escaped the cult. It was not easy, but it absolutely was worth it. Remember, family isn't always blood. Family is who we find peace, love, happiness, and trust with. Choose your family that supports you and doesn't turn their backs on you because they disagree. You have the courage roaring inside of you. A guy from the ME. People think I'm a good listener, and that just makes them say things to me that they really shouldn't. I'm only listening because I don't want to be rude, not because I care. Don't tell me your family secrets, please. The Nice Marmot. I'm also one of those people others like to confide in, and I didn't ask, and I don't want to know. And up next is a reply with a different opinion. External Muscle 6246. I'm a good listener because I'm nosy as hell. From Mediocre Merkin. Our house was the first one on our street to be built. My husband and I had sex in every single house on the street while they were under construction. I imagine our neighbors would look at us differently if they knew we'd fucked in their house before they even had a chance to. So naughty, Mediocre Merkin. Scary 99. Fantastic. That's a win. Jordanier. I like this one. Innocent enough, but still pretty devious. I do agree, Jordanier. From Braun 3. How incredibly terrified I am nearly all of the time. I'm not confident. I don't think I'm in control anymore. I don't think I can do this. And still, here I go. That's tough, Braun 3. Look at you though. You still get up every day and you still push forward. That's all you can do, man. Bubbly Anteater 2772. I understand how you feel, and my best advice is to embrace the chaos because no one has absolute control. If you are suffering these fears, I've learned from many monks that suffering is caused by desire, and suffering is just reality not matching desire. If you can realize that desire and embrace now, pain may stay for a while, but your mental suffering will be long gone. Puzzled and hungry. Suffering is caused by desire, but the problem is I desire my family to be happy and healthy. Therein lies the problem. Out of my control. From Crash Murph. My sense of smell is off the charts. I can usually tell if someone showers in the morning or at night by the way their hair smells. If someone ate yogurt in an auditorium hours prior but threw out the container in the trash and I walk in on the other side of the room, I can smell the yogurt. Damn. My memory is also sense driven. I remember people by their voices or scent, not their faces, or if there is something different about them. Odd gait, odd body proportions, etc. My touch memory is also weird. Did I lock the front door? I focus on my hand and go through what my hand has felt in the past 20 minutes, and if the feeling of locking the door is there, I'm good. I'm literally a freak, and if people knew how much of their behavior / body oddities / scent I actually have no choice but to remember, everyone would look at me like I'm a monster. I gotta say, that is pretty amazing. Hobbs 8889. This is fascinating. The closest thing is I don't read by letters, but by shapes. So if two words have the same peaks and valleys, I have trouble reading it. It's also why I can read upside down at the same speed as right side up. Tiny Orange Alligator. There are a few of us out here. I can smell people who have been in the elevator before me and tell you how many people were in it, their gender, cologne or shampoo, and sometimes what medications they take. Oh, and what lunch someone brought in. That's a fun one to share with coworkers. I can smell cigarettes or weed from a mile away. Crash Murph responds, my people. I bet people get so nervous when you tell them that. They're probably like,
shit, I farted an hour ago. I hope I don't run into Tiny Orange Alligator on the elevator.
I can also identify the shampoos, perfumes, etc. And the weed and cigarettes. Impossible to hide from me. And there you have it, folks. Two superhumans in the midst. Binder of Chains. A few years ago, I went to the zoo during their Halloween celebration month where costumes were allowed. I dressed up as a zookeeper. I told people that the penguins were animatronic, that when the giraffes get sick, we feed them to the lions. I told a group of children that scientifically speaking, snakes and apples are cousins. Now that's just terrible, binder of chains. R. Levanoni. I have schizophrenia. It's not buttfucker 3000. Me too. People close to me, family, very good friends. No, but not coworkers, bosses, teachers, acquaintances. I'm afraid they'd be afraid of me or censor themselves because of the horrible stigma. Volcano NGH. I know, it's awful. Even my friends who know still don't even get it. I wish I could hand them a fistful of pills they take every day and see how much energy they can pump out at will. Okay, here we go. Alcoholomirkites. Sometimes I fantasize about being kidnapped and raped. But at the same time, I'm really disgusted with myself that I think about stuff like that. Plain cold tofu. Don't be too ashamed. Research CNC and find a world of like-minded people. Margot the Art Ho. That is a very common fantasy, and there are ways to realize it in a healthy way. No reason to be hard on yourself. I agree with the other comment. Look up consensual, non-consent, or CNC. Thank you, Margot. I was about to go look up what CNC meant. Both issue. I can fart and sneeze at the same time. Difficult House 6853. Human screenshot. Good one, Difficult House. Good one. And here's one more reply before we get to the next question. From Pumpkin Spiced Bimbo. The actual things I've been paid ludicrous amounts of money to do as a high-class escort in Dubai. Suhari Saint. Should be an AMA. Ease Consistent 7016. Yeah, it'd be super interesting. No doubt there, guys. One can only imagine when one has copious amounts of money, the types of things that turns their gears. Okay, let's see what's up next. What was the most intense moment of your life? Magali 08. I had a wreck years ago. A semi clipped the front passenger side with his trailer and sent me spinning, then started to flip when my car got caught by those metal cable barriers. I was going backwards down the interstate as the cables just shredded the passenger side of my car. The trunk busted open and I saw a tote bag that was holding my hair stuff and makeup fly in front of me as my car was trying to stop. When it started to flip, my head bounced off the driver's side window. Finally, when it was over, I was sitting there just stunned. Then, my stupid brain decided I needed to walk out on the interstate to go find my flat iron. Because apparently, I thought, hey, I have head trauma, but I can still look good. Wow, Magali 08, I can't even imagine what that must have been like. I'm hoping you did not go look for your flat iron. And I am very happy that you are here to share that little story. Thank you. From Koala Cola, not Pepsi. 2.5 years ago, I woke up halfway on my way to work with blurry sight and an immobile body. I assume it was on a sidewalk. I remember, I wondered if I had died, but quickly shifted to a theory of suddenly gotten drunk on a Tuesday morning. But that didn't make any sense. Couldn't grasp what was going on, really. Suddenly, an older man rushed to me and asked if I was okay. I said yeah. He told me to lie still, looked concerned. An ambulance came and took me to the nearest ER, about 1 kilometer down the road. It was a stroke. Still puts me off when I think about it. Occasional aphasia, but pretty much fine now. Has been motel. Scary stuff. You never know when something could go wrong. Jewelers. Whoa. Before this thread loaded, I was thinking of my answer and thought, definitely, but I woke up and was having my stroke. I woke up and my whole left side was weak and floppy. I stood and then immediately collapsed to the ground, but very, very slowly. It was wild. I also felt extremely fucked up. Mine was on 12/25/22, so almost 3 months ago. Shit sucks. Glad you're doing better. PA paramedic. Same. At age 29. Tiny clot floated through a PFO. Hole in my heart. Minimal tactile deficit, but often wonder if when I have problems pronouncing a word, is that some weird side effect? Koala Cola, not Pepsi. Comes back. It humbles you. Strokes humbles a person. I think so too about the fumbling of words. Think less about it now, but once in a while. I was 39. Mike's Auto. Driving to work one morning. Icky. Rainy day. Lots of highway traffic. I assume a car hydroplaned in front of me, but it was far enough ahead that I couldn't tell exactly what happened. Took out several other cars with him. Highway was basically completely blocked. I was essentially the first car to pull up on the wreck, and one of the more badly damaged cars was already on fire. Myself and a couple strangers run up to the car and realize his door is jammed. One of the guys starts kicking the window. I'm not sure how much time has passed. Probably not much. But you can feel the heat, and making eye contact with this dude, you can see the fear in his eyes. I ran to the passenger side, and as I'm pulling on the handle, the driver is kicking on the door from the inside. It popped open enough that I was able to grab a portion of the door itself, and we were able to pull it open and pull him out. I went to work, but I shook for hours from the adrenaline. Damn, man. I would too. Egorophobic. You still went to work? Mike's Auto. LOL, yeah. Thought about going home, but I was mostly alright. Just the adrenaline. And speaking of intense moments, we got a real crazy one coming up. Unyielding Cactus. Took 4 9mm rounds to the chest while delivering pizza. Was delivering to a party, and some kids just jumped out and pointed a gun at me. When I first saw the gun, I thought it was some kids trying to prank me with a BB gun or something. I heard 4 loud bangs. Next thing I know, I was on the ground and I felt them tugging on my keys that I had clipped to a belt loop. I remember one of them actually crying, and I remember him saying sorry over and over. Don't know how long I was there, but the party I was supposed to deliver to emptied out, and I remember hearing a lot of crying and screaming. I just remember some guy saying, "Don't close your eyes, dude. Stay with me." Ambulance got there and picked me up, and from there it was going in and out. Felt like I was just a passenger in my own body. The kids who mugged me and stole my car got picked up like 20 minutes later at a gas station trying to use my card to fill the car. They all ended up going away for several years, and I got 4 scars that raise eyebrows every time I go to the beach. Wow, man, that is heavy. Glad you came out of this one, Unyielding Cactus. Last minute panic. Damn. Congratulations on every fucking subsequent moment. My exact sentiments there. Unyielding Cactus comes back. Thank you. Yeah, really put a lot of things into perspective for me. Oh man, I'm sure it did. I'm sure life has a whole new meaning, man. Cat Daddy Lambo, TLDR. I thought we got nuked. I was stationed in South Korea in 2015/2016. This was when the North had been initiating a wave of nuclear tests. It was a Monday evening. Me and some of the guys from my shop were taking a Korean language class on base after hours. Basic shit, like how to tell a cab driver where you were going, etc. The heightened tensions because of the nuclear tests had everyone pretty on edge. The classroom we were in had no windows and we couldn't see outside. The building started shaking violently. We all thought it had happened and the world was about to end. In reality, a 5.8 earthquake hit not far from the base. Once we walked outside, didn't see a mushroom cloud, and realized we hadn't become the World War III Rapid Response Force. We all had a good laugh about it, but for about 2 minutes, it was the opposite of funny. Oh my god, I'm sure your brain must have went crazy. Mine would have. Pinecone Paradise. I was in South Korea at the same time, but sleeping. I woke up to shaking and never had experienced an earthquake before. So half asleep, my first reaction was to cling to my mattress like I was going to fall off the edge of the earth. Well, you're still here, Pinecone Paradise. Good thing you didn't fall off, eh? Dead lawn spots. The day my dad died in my arms. Edited. Sorry for everyone who's had similar losses. Thanks for commenting. It's been cathartic to read and draft, but not post individual replies. My dad lived with Parkinson's for 28 years, stripping away so much before it finally killed him. He went through a half dozen resurrections before he asked us to DNR. He was nails tough. I lived in that hospice for days of just sadness and dread until I saw his face go pale and all the tension in his muscles go slack. I just hugged him as hard as I could and kept repeating how much we love him and thanking him for everything he did for us. It was all I could think to do in the off chance some part of his brain could still register it. That's what I wanted him to go out with. I remember my wife driving me home in the early morning after he'd passed and seeing the world starting to wake up. People leaving on their commutes, stores starting to open. The world not noticing or caring that it lost someone so kind and strong and smart, or that he'd gotten such a raw deal at life. OK Search 2371. As a teen, 5 of us in a Ford Tempo at 1 a.m., going 65 miles an hour straight into a guardrail. Over 30 years later, this still wakes me up every couple of nights. Car knocked 6 support posts out of the ground. I was sitting shotgun and seatbelted, though driver was not. The driver was flicking his headlights on and off as we came down the off-ramp. Eventually had to go left or right, but we'd mistakenly taken the wrong exit. Thought it was a 4-way stop. He flicks the headlights back on. We are 2 to 3 feet away from the guardrail. No time to brake, and wham! Driver bent the steering wheel into the dashboard with his hands. He should be dead. Sitting shotgun, I should be dead. The kid behind driver had the window shatter into his face. Picked glass out of his cheeks for weeks. Middle in the back took a dome light to the face. No idea how he isn't dead. Kid behind me hit the back of my seat so hard and launched me forward. The impact left a bruise from the seatbelt across my chest for 4 weeks. Car looked like a corkscrew. We all got out and walked away. No hospitals. No cops involved. Just left the car and ran. The driver's father later proceeded to beat the living piss out of him. Damn, and rightfully so. Decades later, I ran into the driver at a local bar, and he said he wished he died in the wreck. I bought him a beer. He said he had to make a phone call. He walked out the door, and I've never seen him since. And one final reply from Fofo de Bobo. Intense, because it was my first experience with death, and still the grossest. Used to be in law enforcement. Got a call that stated the reporting party had gone to their sister's apartment to bring some cat food because the sister wasn't capable of going out in public due to some mental health issues. Sister wasn't opening the door, so the RP, reporting party, used her key to get in. Should be noted, they hadn't talked in 2 weeks. Sister goes in and finds her sister collapsed and hanging off the bed and calls 911. I go into the apartment and smell this smell that I can still recall so memorably today. To me, it smelled like sweet, rotten peaches with a hint of puke. Go in and see this woman, who had OD'd on fentanyl, we later discovered, dangling over the side of her bed, turning black. Her cat was next to her body, and its mouth had red and black goop all over it. The room was full of flies, and she had a radio playing some old Britney Spears stuff. Anyhow, looked at her blackened face with her mouth that used to be there, that's just now a black and red hole. Then looked at her puffy eyes, saw a bunch of wriggling movement underneath them, and realized that she had flies and maggots underneath her eyelids, and that I was now probably getting these flies that were produced within her eyeballs in my mouth. Cat got sent to a shelter, and now I'm sure someone owns a cat that they don't know had eaten their previous owner's corpse. All in all, good stuff, LMAO. Edit. Sorry, was late at night when I posted this with the dumb acronyms. RP, reporting party, is the person who called into 911. Thanks for bringing it home, Fofo de Bobo. I'm sure you ran into a hell of a lot of stuff in law enforcement. So crazy, this thing called life, huh? Well, everybody, that's it for today. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Please consider a subscribe and a like. And a comment. The Spaceman is trying to grow. Have a great rest of the day, friends. CB, signing off. 07.